Hi everybody! You guys voted that you wanted to see the next video in a minimalism series. What is minimalism and what does it mean to me? Some people think that minimalism means having a limited, maybe a specific number, like 40 things in your household. And that can work if you're that minimal. But minimalism, I feel like, is a very personal journey. Your journey does not have to be exactly like the next person's journey. I think that minimalism is having and living with less, but I also think it has a lot to do with intention. Shopping with intention, living with intention, and purpose, making sure that the things in your household have a purpose. You don't just have things to have them. They have a purpose, they're doing something, they're providing joy. So I think it can look different for a lot of different people. Well, I have two goals with my minimalism. One is I don't like clutter. So one is to get rid of clutter, remove clutter from my household, because clutter gives me anxiety and it's not something that I want to live with. And the other goal I have is to save money. So when you're shopping intentionally, you're making sure that those purchases you make have a purpose. They're going to be used in your household, and it's going to be something that's not just used one time and then set to the side. It's used over and over and over again. How to start? So I would start by reading books, watching YouTube videos, reading blogs. I would follow Instagram pages that talk about minimalism. I think seeing how other people do it and what minimalism means to a plethora of people, not just, me, but seeing how other people do it and getting a lot of different examples can help you figure out what's going to work for your life and how you want to approach it for you. And you might think that one route is going to be perfect for you, and then you try it and think, this actually isn't working for my house, it's not working for my life, it's not working for my family, and you might have to reevaluate, and that's okay. I also think it's important to figure out what your goals are with the minimalism and base your strategies off of those goals. I think the first step is to declutter. I like to start with areas that are going to be easy to declutter. So for me, that is areas that are used less. When I very first started my minimalism journey, I'm very low maintenance, and I knew that I had a bunch of things like makeup or face care, skincare type of things, lotions, stuff like that I wasn't using, and I already knew that was a clutter spot for me. So I went ahead and started by decluttering those things. That was an easy thing for me to let go of. It was an easy thing to get started, to get me moving, to create that momentum. I just think it's important to start somewhere that's going to help you build confidence in the process. The areas that get used a little bit more are kitchen. I find that the kitchen is a little bit harder to minimize and easier to just maintain. As I'm in the utensil drawer, if I notice, oh, hey, I haven't seen this in years, we're not even using this, I set it to the side. I maintain my decluttering. Sometimes you don't just get rid of it right away. Put it to the side and see if you miss it. And that's an okay thing to do. I do that in my closet. I do that in our house. I do that all over the place, because you don't want to get rid of something and then think, I wish I would have kept that. I wish I would have had that. But as long as you're not having those thoughts, I think it's fine to sell it or donate it. I'm speaking for myself here. And I think a lot of people have issues like this, so I am going to talk about it. But my issue in decluttering sometimes is that I see something and I want to keep it for a silly reason. The example that I often talk about on Instagram when it comes to my capsule wardrobe is this pair of steel toe boots that I had. I bought them for like a couple $100. It was an investment. I bought them and I wore them about 4 times. And from there, they got put in my shed. I wasn't wearing them, but I wasn't ready to get rid of them. So I put them in my shed. So when I'm decluttering my closet, I'm thinking, oh, I have those boots in the shed, and they make me feel tough, strong type of person when I wear them. And I loved that feeling, but I still wasn't wearing the boots. Then I kind of had to dig in deep, why am I keeping these when I'm not wearing them? What is it that's making me feel guilty about getting rid of them? And I kind of started to realize that I think it was because I didn't get my money's wear out of them. I think I felt bad because I had spent so much money and I wasn't wearing them. Minimalism can be uncomfortable. Sometimes you might have to stop and think about something and go, why am I keeping this? What is my attachment to this item? And it can be uncomfortable, but it's all part of the process, because if you don't do that, you're going to end up keeping those items even though you're not using them. You're not living to your true minimalism journey in that sense, because those things don't have a purpose, so why keep them? Don't keep things because you have money in them. Don't keep things for silly reasons. Be true to yourself, be true to your journey. Figure out why you're doing things, and all of this is going to kind of build up and create the habit of shopping intentionally. When you're shopping, you're going to think about things and like, how many wears am I actually going to get out of this piece, or how many times are we actually going to use this in the kitchen, that kind of thing. It creates good shopping habits. All of the items that we're decluttering got here because we brought them into the home. If we get better about what we bring into the home, in return, our decluttering process will be more minimal. I think finding your triggers is really important. One of my triggers is Target. I think a lot of women have this, and that's why there's all those memes and, funny reels about women going to Target. That's even, media's way of pushing heavy impulse buys at Target. One of my big triggers is Target. I go into Target, I have a list, like somehow I still end up in the women's clothing section, and even though I shop only natural fibers mostly, I still end up with, not natural fibers in my cart. I still end up with a cart full of clothes. And I walk around with it for a while, think about things as I walk. So I slowly start putting things back, like maybe I don't need that sweater, I've already got two at home, or maybe I don't need this. And before you know it, I've put all the clothes back and I didn't actually buy anything. But I know that I am that way, and I know that it is more of a struggle for me, so I just don't go to Target. And the only time I will go to Target is if we specifically need something and I can't get it anywhere else. So just being aware of your triggers, understanding why those are your triggers, and kind of reshaping your thinking around those. Another good idea is to surround yourself with people who have a similar mind frame. Ask questions, learn from each other, surround yourself with people who are living the life that you want to live, because it will inspire you and motivate you to do better in the way that you want to do better. Don't compare your journey, your minimalism journey, to anyone else. Your journey is individualistic. It's your journey. It is what you make it. The next step would be to start. Go ahead and start decluttering. When I first started, it was helpful to do these big declutters in different areas and choose like one area every week, or depending on your time, one area every day, or whatever works for you, but choose these areas to declutter. And then, like I mentioned before, maintain those areas. So if I'm in the kitchen cooking and I see something we don't use, that item then gets put aside into a box of stuff that I'm going to donate, or that I'm going to sell, or maybe that I'm just holding on to see if it's worth getting rid of. And like I've mentioned a few times, I think the shopping intentionally is a big thing. All of our clutter and our maximalist items, the items that don't have purpose within our household, are here because we shopped and we brought them home. We brought them into our space. So if we learn how to not bring those into our space through intentionality, then your decluttering process is going to be so much easier. Your minimalism journey is going to be easier to maintain. So some things that I think about when I'm trying to decide if this is an intentional purpose, I think about how many times I'm going to use it. Do I have storage space for it? When it comes to clothes, I think about, does it match with, certain amount of items? So that way I know it's going to be an item that's going to get a lot of wear. There's a lot of different questions you can ask yourself. I'm from Soil to Sawdust on Instagram, and I often post little tips and little reels that show different ways you can approach mostly a capsule wardrobe, but it can be used throughout every aspect of minimalism, not just clothing. If you want to see more about minimalism, hit the like button and go ahead and subscribe, because I'm sure that we have more coming. And again, follow me on Instagram. Every week I put up a little poll and you can tell me what you want to see next on YouTube. I hope you liked this video. I hope you guys liked my minimalism tips. I'd love to hear some of your best tips in the comments below. Thanks, guys.